All right, guys, the wait is over. The Active 2.3 is officially on the market. It's amazing, but it's not for everybody. There's a lot to love about the Active 2.3, but there's also a lot of things that may leave you disappointed and may show that this pressure washer is not for you. We are gonna run this machine through all of the tests. We're gonna check the PSI, GPMs, see if it goes above 15 amps. We're gonna test all of the orifice sizes. We're also gonna make sure that it's not too loud with a decibel reading. We're gonna take this through the ringer, test everything that you guys are interested in seeing. Let's get started with the video.
All right, I'm going to try not to waste your time with a long, drawn-out unboxing of this, so here it goes.
Basic pressure washer 1, foam blaster, 40-foot steel braided hose, wall mounting hardware orifice pick, and a 1.45 foam cannon orifice.
Everything was packaged very nicely, a lot of protection, which is always kind of a fear when you're shipping something that's heavy. It's 45 pounds with the frame, 29 pounds without the frame, but everything looks perfect, no issues.
So the unit comes with a steel braided pressure washer hose. Initially, I was a little concerned, thinking that would kind of make it not flexible, wouldn't feel like an Uberflex or a Flexzilla, but I have to say this is a very, very nice hose. Definitely high quality, seems very, very flexible. I'm very impressed with this hose. Kind of took away the fears that I had of a non-Flexzilla or Uberflex hose, but this seems really nice. The one that it comes with out of the box, very typical, something that you'd find in any pressure washing kit that you'd pick up as a standard pressure washing wand. And then your standard M22 14 connection for the pressure washer. And the last accessory you're gonna get here is what they're calling a foam blaster, not a foam cannon. I think that they're doing that because they don't want your expectations too high. Kind of a weird design here. Kind of the neck folds up and down. And then you can get some adjustments here. I'm assuming, yeah, that's for the soap. It is nice that they have vertical. You can do vertical and horizontal adjustments. And then this is going to be for your narrow stream and your wide stream. It's not an adjustable stream. It's just one click out, one click in, narrow, wide. Don't really like that, to be honest with you. And then to take it off, it's just a quarter turn. No weighted hose here, so you know, if you start going horizontal with this, the foam's gonna shut off. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm probably gonna throw this in the trash right after I'm done with this review. Either give us a good foam cannon or don't give us one at all. This is kind of marketed towards prosumers, people that are doing this as a profession, or they're really serious about car detailing. So I'd rather you just lower the price $5, or maybe just give us a coupon code or something, or a discount for the new foam cannon that Active is coming out with, which I'm sure is going to be excellent. I really like Active. I'm not sponsored by them, but I really like them. They make incredible products. But the accessories here, this gun, this foam cannon, this hose, I can tell is going to be a winner. The foam cannon and the wand, last time I'm using it is probably today. Let's start running some tests and see if this bad boy lives up to all the hype.
M22 14 pressure washer hose connects here, and your water hose connects right here. Loving the 35-foot power cord. That allows me to not have to use an extension cord, so that's a win.
All right, cool. So we have our Active 2.3 plugged in. We have the water hose on. Water is currently flowing into the system. It's really important when you get a new pressure washer, and really any pressure washer for that matter, is before you actually turn it on, make sure you purge all the air out of the line. So all you have to do, just hold down, and you can see that. You'll hear some popping. That's all of the air getting pushed out of the line. It's really important to make sure you do that so you don't have any air in the system. It just ensures that everything runs properly. Just do that for 30, 40 seconds and you'll be good to go. All right, cool, we're all set up. Let's test this out. I have my decibel reader set up right here. I have my amperage meter set up right here. We're gonna test everything out. Let's start with a 40-degree nozzle and get a first impression and see what this sounds like. Really powerful. You can hear that induction motor. That induction motor has more of like a hum as opposed to a whine or a screech that we see in the universal motors. So it sounds really nice. I can definitely tell that there's a lot of flow coming out of this. Let's check the amps. Let's check the decibels. I'm gonna run this. We'll see what the amperage is. We'll see what the decibels are. 40-degree nozzle. 13.47 amps. 13.47-ish amps. And I'm gonna bring this away so we're not doing a false reading. I don't want this decibel reader to be reading the sound of the water. I want it to be reading the sound of the pressure washer. So I'm gonna have my assistant give you guys a close-up when I turn the pressure washer back on. All right, so we're coming up with a reading of 95 decibels. That's pretty loud, definitely not a quiet machine. But it's not all about how loud it is, it's kind of how it sounds. So for instance, the Ryobi, that's gonna be a universal motor, so it has that whining. It runs at a much higher RPM, so it has a really screechy, whiny noise to it. This is an induction motor, so it's gonna be running at a much lower RPM to get the same horsepower, basically. So definitely a more pleasant noise, but definitely still loud. It's not a quiet machine by any stretch of the imagination. All right, guys, next thing we're gonna test out is we're gonna go through all of the different nozzle sizes and test the amps and test the PSI. This is important because we don't wanna go over 15 amps. These are all 4-6 nozzles. These are specifically sent with this pressure washer, so you don't go over 15 amps. Let's just put that to the test and make sure that's the case. I'm also gonna be switching out the 1.1 millimeter with the provided 1.45 orifice. That's also gonna be, so we don't go past 15 amps. Make sure you guys do that because you probably will blow a breaker if you keep it at that 1.1 or 1.25 that most foam cannons come with. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly show you guys how to switch out. Awesome, thank you. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna quickly show you guys how to switch out the orifice, because this is kind of an important step. So let's see. I switched a 1.25 for a 1.1. It's a little trick to get more foam, but it's gonna be too much for this setup. So that's the orifice right there. Just get a flathead screwdriver. Pops right out. And then they give you a 1.45. That's gonna keep our amperage down, hopefully. Pop that back in, and we're good to go. So this is gonna keep the amps down, but I am curious how this is gonna affect the foam, so I'll be interested to see how the foam is at the end of the video. And we're good. All right, let's test all of the different nozzle sizes, including this orifice on the MJJC foam cannon, starting with a 0. I'd say about 900, maybe a little more. Just over 900. Let's check the amps. 0 orifice. I'm reading about 13.35. That's perfect. Not even close to 15. All right, this is the 15 here. Same thing. Let's see if the orifice size and the nozzle size affects anything here. I don't think it will, but we'll see. Same exact number, 900 to me. Let's check the amps. 13.33-ish, about the same. 25 degrees. Same exact number. 13.58. 40 degrees. Same exact number. Pretty much the same, 13.4, 13.5. All right, now finally, let's test the foam cannon. I suspect that we'll get higher amps on this, but let's give it a test. Same PSI. Let's check the amps. Wow, that's weird. Lower amps, 13.1. I don't understand why that is, but 13.1. All right, next up is a test of the gallons per minute. I've already weighed this bucket out. It weighs 1.6 pounds. I already made sure that the 2 gallons is in fact 2 gallons by weighing it. You guys can see as it comes up, but I'm also going to weigh everything while also subtracting the weight of the bucket so we can get a very precise, or as precise as possible, GPM measurement on this. All right, we have our timer ready to go. 3, 2, 1, and start. That's 1 minute. All right. That looks like it's going to be, what, 2.25 gallons. Let's get it on the scale and make sure that we are correct. All right, let's weigh this bucket. Really hard to see there, but it's 20.8. Let's weigh it again. $20.8. Excellent. So let's take 20.8 minus the weight of the bucket, 1.6, equals 19.2. 19.2 pounds converted into gallons is 2.3. 2.3 gallons exactly. Now, this isn't perfectly precise, but I mean, that's like right on target. 2.3 give or take. That's going to be right on target, exactly as advertised. So very impressive. Most of the time when a new pressure washer comes out, everyone's trying to one up each other, and sometimes those numbers are inflated. So far, amazing. 2.3 GPM tested in real world conditions. and it has about 950 to 1,000 PSI. Awesome, awesome numbers. All right, so now let's see how this foams. We're gonna use the included foam blaster, not a foam cannon, foam blaster. I'm not gonna lie, my expectations are pretty low for this, but let's give it a test. So definitely runny. I'm using Adam's Mega Foam. It's not bad, I guess. As you can see, it took a while for that tube to actually start sucking up the detergent, or the soap rather. It's not, you know, it's a foam blaster. You know, the name is kind of true. It's not really a foam cannon. It's not leaving like that thick foam. It's just kind of leaving a slick residue. So, like I said before, this is probably the last time I'm going to use this. Probably in the trash it goes, or I'll give it to somebody that wants a cheap foam blaster. Let's see what it does with the MJJC. Crazy thick foam. Awesome. All right, let's see the rinsability of this. 2.3 GPMs, that's really nice. We'll be able to rinse this down really quick. So another big concern of mine, according to Active on their website, they suggest only using steel braided hoses, which to me was kind of a bummer because I love my Uberflex and my Flexzilla hoses. These are like amazing. So let's plug in. So I got my Uberflex plugged in. Let's see if it affects anything, if it sounds any different, if we have any surging. So let's just test that out, because that would be kind of a bummer for me. Little bit of a surge there, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So it is surging a little bit. It takes a second. Yeah, it's surging. So not a huge deal. It's gonna make the experience, you know, not so perfect. There's gonna be a little bit of a lag. Of course, if you're pressure washing, once you hold it down, you're gonna be good. So it's just that initial pull. Good. Yeah, so you're gonna get a little surging with these. Long term, I'm not sure if it's gonna do any damage or have any issues. I'll keep testing this and keep you guys posted, but not a huge deal, but it is definitely surging a little bit. The reason they advise against it is because they're saying the Uberflex and Flexzilla hoses, they expand because they're not reinforced with the steel braiding. That expansion will lead to the surging, which it does for sure, but we'll do some more long-term testing and see how this works out. All right, so let's quickly disassemble this. Really the only piece that's working is this motor right here. Everything else is just the frame. So we're gonna disassemble this. All it takes is a 13mm socket and it's 4 bolts. We'll just flip this upside down and make sure you have something underneath this. I'm gonna put my hand underneath too, just to be safe. You can just drop it down. Get this frame out of the way. This is really the entire pressure washer, and it's crazy how small of a footprint and how powerful this is for being the size that it is. So they really fit a lot into a small area, cuts down the size a bit, and I would imagine this is probably how most people are gonna have it. They're gonna have this mounted to, you know, have like a wall mount, have a shelf mount, but really is a beautiful looking pressure washer, especially just as it is now. It's got that nice brass head here, but that's all it really is. It's just 4 bolts, four nuts, and that's it. All right, so my final thoughts on the Active 2.3 pressure washer. I'm gonna start with the bad and with the good. Cons, it's big, it's heavy, it's not portable. This is not something that you're gonna be moving around to get your siding done. It's not something that you're gonna be running around the house with. It's not a portable pressure washer. It doesn't have wheels. This is more for a stationary application. If you're gonna mount it to your garage, put it on a shelf somewhere, that's what 99% of everyone's gonna be doing with this. So with that being said, you gotta judge whether this is the right pressure washer for you. Next is it's expensive. It's not a cheap pressure washer. It's $650, and for $650, you get the pressure washer and the hose. Everything else is garbage. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just being honest, and Active knows this. They know their customer. The people that are buying this pressure washer have no interest in that wand, and they have no interest in that foam blaster. So for $650, you're basically getting the pressure washer and the hose. I will say that hose is very nice. All in on that hose. Very, very nice hose. I compare it to an Uberflex or a Flexzilla all day long. The other con is it requires very specific gear. It comes with those 4.5 nozzles. 4.6 nozzles. The 4.6 nozzles that I'm aware of, you can't really buy them. They're not readily available on Amazon, so you're gonna have to go through Active to pick those up if you lose one. That's a con in my opinion. Another con, steel braided hose. You have to use a steel braided hose. If you have Uberflex and you like the Flexzilla, the Uberflex hoses, too bad. You can't use those. You gotta use the steel braided hose that it comes with. After testing all day, I can confirm it has problems with the Uberflex. The Uberflex and Flexzilla are a no-go with this pressure washer, in my opinion. So that's kind of a bummer. Now, as far as the pros, this thing performs like no other electric pressure washer. It's officially the king of electric pressure washers right now, in my opinion. Style-wise, I think it's just really cool. Everyone pretends that they don't care what their stuff looks like. Let's be real. That thing looks awesome, and it's gonna be a talking piece. If you show that to somebody, someone comes in your garage, they see that setup, it's cool. It's a really good looking product. Another pro is the type of motor. That 5-piston brass head motor, induction motor, sounds great. It's gonna perform great. Also, it has the ability to be maintained so you can change the oil, you can change out the parts. I think that's going to translate into some really long-term use. The serviceability of this is a big win. If Active kind of follows through with the serviceability of this and they can replace parts, you're gonna be able to get a long, long life out of this pressure washer. I like how Active designs their products. I don't, the accessories is one thing, but what they actually come up with, like for instance, this Active gun is amazing, extremely well designed. It's probably one of the best pressure washer guns that I've ever used. Really like it. It has a 2-stage trigger. I mean, it's really nice, and it was designed by Active. So I trust Active's design and ingenuity. I like the company. I think they're gonna follow through with this one. And I also like their customer service, which is my last pro for this. Their customer service is amazing. They're gonna get back to you right away. They're gonna answer any questions you have. Love the company, love the customer service, and that means a lot. So all in all, I like the Active 2.3. With that being said, this pressure washer is not for everybody. If you're looking at this video and you're like, $650 and I don't get, my 50-foot Uberflex, I don't get quick connects, I don't get a legitimate wand, I don't get a legitimate foam cannon. If you're someone that's just a weekend warrior that doesn't want to spend too much money, I made another video. For $350, you can get a Flexzilla hose, all quick connects, the Ryobi 1800 pressure washer, you can get the MJJC foam cannon. You can get everything you need to make unbelievable foam and have a great pressure washing car detailing experience for $350. If you're interested in that, check out the video. I'll put it at the end. So you don't really need a crazy machine like this to get a good car washing detailing experience, create great foam. But if you're someone that really wants the best of the best, you're a professional detailer, you're a prosumer like Active kind of brands, the Active 2.3 is an incredible product and makes incredible numbers. It's a high performing machine, and you're gonna get the best of the best out of this Active 2.3. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.